I did. And I know that we all destined for greatness, no matter what you've been facing. It's a marathon, no, it's not a sprint. It's for all of the trials and tribulations. Just look at my mom made it. I said I was gonna change it, I did. And I know that we all destined for greatness, no matter what you've been facing. It's a marathon, no, it's not a sprint. Trying to change for the better, all my city difference. From the mamas to the children, every one of us is gifted.
Good afternoon, the Back community. Thank you, as always, for staying involved. Thank you for staying engaged. Today, we officially kick off season 5 of the Back Community Podcast. Woohoo! And I really want to say thank everyone who continues to follow us, who continues to like, share, and who really enjoys the content that we put out, because it's always to highlight positive individuals and positive organizations, which leads me to the theme for season 5, which is going to be spread love. We're going to do more of that because it's really important to get to know other individuals who are maybe in professional backgrounds that some of us want to get involved in, figure out their stories, understand what was their path to get to where they are, and what keeps them motivated. I love hearing about what keeps other people motivated because it helps to motivate me. And today's guest definitely motivates me because she's always doing something. And when I say it's not just doing something to do something, she brings quality, talent, and detail to what she does. I've gotten a chance to see different things that she's put together at CIAA and for homecomings. I got to watch virtually on something that she put together down in Charlotte for Earn Your Leisure. I mean, she's over and on a multitude of things. Without further ado, today's guest on the Back community is Miss Kristin Cosby, and I'm going to be calling her Chris throughout this interview just because I happen to know her from my school, our school, Johnson C. Smith, JAC.
SU.
Had to make sure you're going to catch it. Hey, listen, Chris, my first official question for you on the Back community has to be um, who is Chris Cosby and what is it that you do? I always try my best to introduce you, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to introduce you better than you can yourself. So, who is Chris Cosby and what do you do?
Well, Chris Cosby is just someone who is passionate, definitely someone who is an advocate for spreading love. So I'm just so happy that, you're kind of talking about that because we need more of that in the world today. But definitely a passionate person. As I said, I always try to lead with peace, with love. I am a mother. I am a daughter of two amazing parents who, they are no longer with me, but I always try to carry on that legacy. And then I am a business owner. So I am an entrepreneur. I'm the CEO and founder of Mylestone Productions, and we are a special event and entertainment production company. So if I had to kind of sum it all up, that gives you a little bit of a taste of what it's like to be in my world.
I have to go back on one thing that you said because first things first, my condolences for the loss of both your parents.
Thank you.
And it was something that, I seen you go through virtually, and I empathize with you because I lost both of my parents battling cancer. So, and I think those aspects of life and the things that we go through change us
Yes.
drastically. And
Yes.
one of the things I learned when losing my mom was that my level of empathy had to change, right? And it forced, sorry to go on a tangent, but it forced me to go back and look at, friends that I know who have lost parents and what
Yes.
I was able to provide to them. And at the time, I had never experienced it, so I didn't really know what was needed or how to um, properly connect with people who lost until I lost one. So
For
watching
sure.
that transition for you was something I definitely empathize with. And like I said, I do
Mm-hmm.
want to say condolences to
Thank
both of
you.
your parents. And I got a chance to meet your dad.
Yes.
And I know
Yes.
your dad was dynamic, dope, like I said, down there at Johnson C. Smith. And uh, their legacy lives on through you. And I can't
For
wait to find
sure.
out all that you're doing.
Yes, thank you for that. And my condolences to you as well. It definitely is a journey that you learn a lot on when you unfortunately have to be on it.
Mm.
But yes, for sure, working really hard to make sure that not only I knew they were proud of me when they were here, but everything that I do going forward, I just want to represent them in the highest honor. So
And it's it's really important too, and it's really important because, like you said how proud they were of you while they were still here.
hmm
And when my mom died, I did grief share at my church, among therapy too. But I did grief share, and it was really important to realize everyone grieves differently.
yes.
And so to see the fallout or how things played out among my family, or how I've
hmm
had to mature as a result of those situations, it 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 made me a better person in terms of relating to other people and
For
realizing
sure.
that there's no one size shoe that fits everything, and
No.
just learn how to be supportive. Sometimes it's just by being quiet,
Oh, yes.
but
Yep.
yeah, sometimes it's just by being quiet.
Being quiet, definitely. Being present. Sometimes you don't have to say too much, but
Yep, yep,
definitely learn a lot in grief, and just, still on that journey every day. But that's really great that you did that through your church.
yep.
So I'm an advocate for therapy, grief share, all kinds. Which we
Who
could,
you
I'm
telling?
sure, do a whole nother podcast about that. But
Listen, I mention therapy almost all of the time, and it's just like,
yeah,
in my circle of friends, I tell everybody, listen, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And for all you guys out there listening,
yes,
the both of us highly recommend and are advocating for therapy. And it's more so just to find that balance within yourself and to realize that I'm partially a people pleaser. So I had to
hmm
learn how to, stop people pleasing, and do what was right for me and my family.
for
And
sure.
carrying on my parents' legacy is a huge part of that. My mom was a huge advocate for everyone in the community, which is
Mhm.
where I got my passion from. Which leads me to my next question, because I would have to guess that your passion for being an event a producer and planner had to
Mhm.
come from somewhere. Where did that love for putting things together come from, and how early did you catch that bug?
So I know this is gonna probably sound like, are you sure about that? But but I was an only child, and I don't know if I don't know if you have siblings. I think you do, right? You have
Yep,
siblings.
yep, yep.
So
Got five.
I didn't have any siblings. So I found myself at a very young age having to be creative because I didn't have anyone in the home to play with. It was just me. And I would basically come up with all kinds of things that my imagination would take me, to be creative basically in my home. And so I think my mom told me as early as probably like 6 or 7, I was already planning. I was already
Mm,
playing school or coming up with a setting where we're having this like event or playing church, or like I was always trying to organize something.
mm,
And I think that my family saw that in me really early on, especially for family gatherings. I was always the one like coming up with the decor, deciding what we were going to do, what time we're having it, how many people are coming, how we should invite them. So it's interesting now that I am a mother and I see
mm.
my own children. It made me kind of understand and appreciate how early you can really start to nurture their talents and just support them. No, not really even being sure where it's gonna go, but I feel like for me it started very young, just kind of seeing some of the skill set. The passion for entertainment and getting into like larger productions and sporting events kind of just happened on the journey along the way.
Mm.
But the skill set of just being passionate about planning, and what I will say is, I feel like I have a passion for gathering people and for them to have like enjoyable, memorable experiences. So that has just always been me, whether it's a family gathering or planning for a client. I think I was probably bit by that bug very young.
Nice, nice. And to your point, you said that now going through your experience as a parent, you can
hmm
see how we can actually identify these things in our kids early on, right?
Yeah.
And I just turned 41, so at 41, I'm seasoned, and it's like I could tell characteristics about people. I've gotten a chance to
hmm
be heavily involved in a lot of my nieces and nephews' lives. My oldest son will be 15 in November. and I got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. But I can see people's personalities. I
Mm-hmm.
can see what it is that you're interested in. And you're right. You can really identify those things really, really early. Like, yo, you gonna be stubborn. You gonna be, oh, I can't do this to you. I gotta do this. And it's
Yes.
like, you got a passion for this. So you're right.
Yes.
When you're in tune, you really can see a lot of this stuff in people early. So I am not surprised that 5 and 6-year-old Chris was out here trying to
Oh
plan something
yeah.
for everybody. You sit here, and you sit there.
Right, right. Yes. Like I said, if you had siblings, this might sound kind of crazy to you, but if you're only child, you know that you have to get creative.
Mm, mm. Yep, yep.
So, but yeah, I had amazing childhood memories. And that's one thing I can say about my parents. They kind of let me, be free when it came to just figuring out what it is that I like to do. Very early on, I was exposed to theater through my dad. So,
Mm,
I was in plays and he would take me to auditions and I would do stuff in the church. And then, with my aunt, who was very much a big part of my life and still is, she, at one point was like, wow, I didn't know you could sing. And so she
mm,
started putting me in the studio and I was doing talent shows. So again, all of it kind of brought me to where I am today. And there's still so much more I believe will happen with my journey.
mm.
But I just think that so many different things sort of planted the seed for me to kind of land upon the work that I'm doing now.
Okay, okay. And what did you end up studying at Johnson C. Smith?
So my major was business administration, but I had a concentration in marketing. So
There you go.
I kind of felt at the time that it was broad, but it still made a lot of sense
Mm,
for me to major in business.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Nice, nice. Let me see. You made me think about it. I know you kept saying you was the only child, and I see you was just at his event. But Walt used to always beat me up and be like, "Yo, Tyrell, you like the big brother I never wanted,"
Yeah.
because he was the only child, and it was like
Yeah.
learning how to mesh. And that one was different for me because I got 5 brothers and 1 sister.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
just like, yeah. So you got
I
to
actually
tap into those
call
things.
I call Walter my big brother because, coming on campus, it was so many of you guys that, talk about spreading love. Like it's such a small school when you really think about Johnson C. Smith in terms of the size, but really major like love was shown to me throughout my
Mm,
whole entire college experience. And so Walter was definitely one of those people that kind of took me in, and I always call him big brother. And like, just speaking of entertainment and again, someone seeing your passion, he, helped me to kind of discover like, okay, what is this? What else do you want to do now that you're here in school? And at one point, we laugh about it now, but we had a record label and we were making songs
facts.
and we were doing all this stuff. So he definitely is a big brother. But yeah, you're right. Like college even brought about siblings and lifelong friendships that we've poured into each other. And so I just think that that's the beautiful thing about continuing your journey and going off to college. It's so
Mm,
much more than just the major, the
that's
connections, the people you meet, and then just that lifelong bond that you build with so many different people has even led now to us doing business together through different ventures. So
mm.
yeah, Johnson C.
Yeah.
Smith holds a special place for sure.
Listen, speak on it. Well, if you and Walt had a label together, Walt definitely had me and Jermaine on a track with him. I can't remember the name of the track.
Wait, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we definitely went down to the little incubator in the back, put
Yeah.
down a track for homecoming one year, and it was amazing. Walt's
Walt
gonna be on
Walt
the
was
show
the
this year too.
mastermind. He was the mastermind. I was just a active participant in all of his amazing work. But yeah, I think back to those times that, we were really just exploring, and to see where
Right.
people are now is just it's a beautiful thing.
I agree. I agree. And shout out to Johnson C. Smith. It holds a place in my heart. Like two things that I am known for is Albany, New York, and Johnson C. Smith. And
Yes.
people like, oh, you went to Johnson C. Smith? You know Tyrell? Or you from Albany? You know Tyrell? And Johnson C. Smith is amazing. So it's interesting that you talked about projects and doing things with people that you went to school with because Lex and I got a chance to connect, and Lex and I came in together, and he brought me in to the Becoming Kings program, to
Nice.
where I work with the students over the summer, and I still have a young man. Shout out to my man Seth. I'm sure he's gonna watch this too. But that I mentor now there at
Oh,
Johnson
that's
C. Smith.
awesome.
So it's just amazing to, like you said, it's not just about school and the education, but it's about those friendships. It's about the family and the relationships that you build. So, are
Definitely.
you got do you got anything cooking at Johnson C. Smith right now? I just
Yeah.
threw Lex underneath the bus, but what about you?
Yeah, so interesting that you asked the question. I am going to be announcing an event that we are planning for. It is October 17th at 6
Ooh,
p.m.
is that
and
homecoming?
it is
Is
homecoming,
that homecoming?
almost homecoming.
Okay.
But we're doing an event at Sneak, a really nice cocktail lounge. It's new in the city, but it's a beautiful space. And what we're launching, myself and Levi Williams, both of us connected through sports and entertainment. He's now at NASCAR, and we've done a lot of work together through corporate events. But he and I both are Smithites, and we are coming together to start the Golden Bulls Collective, which is going to be an elite network of professionals who want to basically be a part of events, exclusive events, networking. We like to have fun at homecoming, but some of us want to like come together and figure out how we can make some moves together. So we're going to get it done early though, before you start having a lot of fun. So it'll be on that Thursday. It is once the registration, well, the link drops, I will tell you it's limited space. So definitely if you want to be there, you want to connect with some other Smithites who are like on the move, making things happen. We all are, but some of us are like really
Yep.
on this path to grind and help each other. Just move about in our careers, then this is the event for you. It's the Almost Homecoming Power Mixer, and
Ooh.
it's going to be on that Thursday, 6 o'clock at Sneak. It's free. And then we also do have some specialty drinks from a partner that'll be there as well, kind of doing some giveaways and specialty drinks. So definitely come out to the event. We'll be doing some pictures. You can get like a nice updated picture of yourself for LinkedIn or, whatever you might
I love
want
it.
to use the photo for. But it'll be more to come through this collective. We called it the collective because we want to be able to come together and do exciting things under this umbrella. And, a lot of different types of events and opportunities will be posted through this group. So, if we know of things that are happening, we're going to share it there for other Smithites to know about it. And so it is the Golden Bulls Collective on Instagram. So make sure you follow the page. And then that event will be going live today. So we hope to see you there. What do you think?
Listen,
Terrell?
and you heard it first here on the Back Community.
You heard it
So
first here.
I'm gonna drop the link as soon as I'll make sure I add it in the comment section
Okay,
below the
perfect.
interview, as well as the IG tag for it. But I think it's amazing because yeah, it's important to have fun, right? But it's also important to secure legacy, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes, like we don't make enough time and space to really talk business, right? And so to have a dedicated space at homecoming where people can come together, well, right before homecoming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to have a dedicated space where people can come together and say, well, listen, these are the ideas or the things that I like or I'm interested in, find that out. Once you start talking with people, all it does is open up doors. Like I tell everybody, being in the right room can change your life,
Yeah.
right? So I am really excited to hear about
Thank
it. I think
you.
the name is dope and right on point to what's gonna happen. And now I'm kind of salty because if it's Thursday at 6, Lavar and was just talking yesterday. He's like, "Real, what day you getting in?" I'm like, "I want to come Thursday, but I teach a finance class on Thursday
Okay.
nights." So I'm probably gonna fly in Friday morning. So, but
Yeah.
now I'm like,
Well, this is just the first one. So the goal is to continue to growing the event, making it bigger. We know everybody won't be able to make it, but for us, we want to make sure that we get started with this. So now that you see what's happening, we want everyone to plan to attend next year and just really continue to make it bigger and better. So we will miss you if you can't make it,
I
but
don't know. I don't
definitely.
listen. I might just have to bring my laptop with me and teach this
Yeah.
course from Charlotte
Yeah.
that evening. So I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can sneak out an extra day and
Yeah.
make it down there, because I would hate to miss something like that, because that's right up my alleyway. Networking is everything, and
Yeah.
it's
And I
the
mean,
right
you
spot.
were telling me about your career path. There should be no reason why I don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I meet so many people that tell me they're Smithites or people that I already know. And I'm like, I didn't know you worked there or you do. You know what I mean? It's,
Yep.
and I will say this, and I only want to touch on it because I try to just keep it real. The main reason why this became like a passion for me is because I also had an opportunity to go to Wake Forest University for my master's. And it was just a different experience in how they network and how they, how that
Mm,
community came together. And if someone works at a company, it was like, hey, I work there too, or I used to work, it just was a different experience leaving that program as an alumni. And
mm.
I just kept paying attention to some of it. And I'm like, wait a minute, why don't we
We
be
need
more
that here.
intentional about that? Yeah. And I'm not saying that there's not a lot of great work being done. There is. I'm sure that there's a lot of conversations and connections happening, but I wanted to curate a space where I try to do my part and be more intentional about it. So
Okay. Okay. Listen, I think that it's gonna be amazing. I can tell already, just from your enthusiasm about it. But you and Levi are gonna put together something that's really nice. And if I can't make it on Thursday, I'm gonna be so jealous. But I will make sure that I help to promote it as soon as I start to see you guys pushing information on it, because that is the space. Like we really do need to, and that's why I love. And I know you did an event with Rashad and Troy and them with
mhm,
Earn Your Leisure, right? But now we can talk about things that we never used to talk about before, right?
right.
Therapy, nobody never talked about before, and nobody was definitely talking about finances.
No.
But so being in those spaces where you can actually talk about how to create is really important, right? So
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you for the support. And we appreciate you sharing it and spreading the word with us. So
Got you covered. Got you covered. Let me see, man. I got to ask you this question. This is probably my favorite question to ask everybody on the back community. And over 5 seasons, I've heard every variation that I can possibly hear to this question.
okay.
So, um, how do you define success?
Mm. So it has changed for me over the years.
Mm,
Um, I will say Chris coming out of college was defining success by some level of acceptance. And I'm going to break that down for you. It was like if I saw a role or opportunity, I wanted that stamp of approval that this is yours, and this is that next level for you.
mm,
And then so you find out, you get there and you're like, wait, there's a whole nother level. And
facts.
and when I say acceptance, I think what I mean by that is like oftentimes when we're looking for opportunities, we're looking for a yes, right? Like nobody
Yes.
wants to be told no. If you see your dream job or you see this dream opportunity, you want a yes. You want to, realistically, you want to pray about it and you want it to happen.
You want that? Yes.
Yeah, you want to pray about it and you want it to happen, right? And that's not always how it works. From the time that I got out of college, I had a job. I started working in corporate Americas, started my business pretty early on, and I was doing that more part-time. I feel like I was just looking for yeses. Like,
Mm,
yes, if that's what you want to do, yes, that's next. That's for you. That's for you. And I would get into the role or I would not get the role, either way. And I would feel like there was another level that I had to bring.
mm,
And so for me, over the years, and as I've kind of gone on this journey of entrepreneurship, of climbing the corporate ladder, I started to redefine success because I realized that is draining.
facts.
It is draining constantly getting to what you desired and then realizing like, okay, there's a whole nother level of this, or there's a whole nother like, deck of cards that I'm gonna have to use to play on this level. So I think for me now, especially going through some of life's challenges, success has now meant that I can wake up every day and, every day isn't always the best day, but I am very content with the work that I'm doing and the person that I am. Like, I don't need a yes to necessarily fulfill me. I have desires, I have things that I want to do, and I wake up every day walking in that, but I am already enough. I don't have to like that next title or event or contract doesn't define me. And even the pandemic played a role in showing me that, because all events stopped.
Yep.
None of us were working. It didn't matter if you had the top company in the world. We were all on the same playing field. So for me, I just define my success by my peace, by my happiness. Just knowing that I'm able to assure myself without any opportunity or any label being associated with that. And so that has now been when I feel the most successful, when I can look at myself and be like, dang, girl, you feel good today. You went for a walk, you enjoyed, some of your favorite food or the place you like to go. Like that to me feels like the freedom and level of success that I truly now desire.
I like that. I like it. Earlier we talked about, when you lose someone, it's probably when you really start to live, right?
Yeah.
And you start to realize that all of these things that we're chasing, or the desires that we may have, or what society tells us that we need, none of that really matters when I'm hurting inside, right? And it's
Yeah.
just like, I want what I want, or I want who I want. So it's just like, I live life with a passion as if tomorrow might not come. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
love my kids hard. I'm gonna love my wife hard. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go after my experiences that make me happy hard. Like doing the back community makes me happy. Like you said, you don't know or didn't know what I do by profession. Most people always assume that when I was running my model, my mentoring program, or this, like, oh, this must be what Ty does.
Yeah.
This is what I'm passionate about, right? Which
Right.
allows me to do it without any unnecessary pressure. But
Yeah.
to your point, it's just like, success for you has evolved and changed from getting those yeses to, it sounds like, finding that peace. Like what's
Yeah.
that small joy that makes me smile?
Right. And don't get me wrong, we all want to be successful. We want you want to be able to financially
Facts.
provide for your family. If finances can then lead to freedom for you to be able to do the things you desire to do. Of course, all of that stuff is still it plays a role, right? And but what I think for me is different is that I'm not allowing that to shift my perspective or my how I feel about myself or
Mm,
anything. If the right opportunity is for me, then it's for me. And I just kind of get up every day doing what, I know I am passionate about doing. And I think that kind of leads me a little more than trying to chase an opportunity or what my idea of success used to be.
okay, okay. And depending on what you're chasing, right? Because I've had people on here that say that, I was chasing, and when I got to there, I
Mm-hmm.
still felt empty. So it's just like, I've learned over time, for me personally, the only person that can fill that void is God. So
Yes,
how do
definitely.
how am I making sure I'm living a purposeful life? Right, rather than chasing things. Things are important. Legacy is important. I
Mm-hmm.
teach financial literacy, so financial
Yeah.
literacy is huge. And if you're financially illiterate, that could mean death,
Yeah.
uh, or starving your future. But
Yeah.
but
It's
looking at
that
yourself
sense of
first.
security within yourself. You could get to $1 million and then you might say, I need 2 million. I
Mm,
need three. I need four. So that's why I always just try to be very content with myself where I am now. And, wherever opportunities take me, great, but I'm not going to allow that to control me. I'm always going to have the control, whether it's $5 in your pocket or 1 million.
gotcha,
So, control of the peace and the happiness.
gotcha. And as an entrepreneur, as a mompreneur, as they say it sometimes, but
Yeah.
Do you think entrepreneurship should be taught to young adults in high school? Why or why not?
I think that is important to expose high school students to as much as we can. I mean, you're as a young person, you're not really going to be in that kind of setting
Mm,
before you turn 18 where you can kind of pour into them as much as they can benefit from. So I do think it's important. I actually have a line sister that's doing some amazing work in high
mm,
schools. Her organization is Stiletto Boss University, and
mm.
she is teaching young girls um entrepreneurship, and they get to come up with their own business, and she is able to guide them through that process. So it actually has become a program in the Charlotte Mecklenburg school system, and I have volunteered and supported her organization. And so I have to answer that question as yes, because I've seen what it can do for young people. And even through her program, some of those young women have gone off now to start their own companies. Some of them have nonprofits, and they've been able to get grants and
Mm.
just do amazing things. So I do think having that type of mentorship in high school could save you if you're trying to be an entrepreneur. It could save you from a lot of things that we went through that we didn't have anyone to guide us on. We were just trying to figure it out. Whereas a program like that could help them, save a lot of money in
No
time and
student
just,
loan debt.
yeah, mistakes. I mean, and some of those young ladies still went to college or still go to
Mm,
college, so now you've got different things you can pull from um in your toolbox. So I'm a big advocate for filling a young person's toolbox with as much stuff as they can handle.
yeah.
And then they can pull from it as needed. My daughter just finished a natural hair program,
Yeah,
and yeah,
congratulations to her. I did see that certificate.
yeah, and she's gonna still go to college, but for her, I could see she had a passion around doing hair. And I just said, why don't you go and get the license? Because at least you can understand what are the protocols? What is the state expecting of me as a hair care professional? You can be around other women who are already, doing hair in a suite or in a salon. And so it's just the exposure that I
Mm,
think is important. Whether she never does anything with it doesn't really matter to me, but at least she knows that if I'm going to be a stylist, there's a certain expectation of me as a professional. And that's what was important to me.
okay. Okay.
Mm.
Let me see, man. I wanna ask you. Actually, I want to take you through rapid fire. It's a
Okay.
series of 4 to 5 questions, very short questions.
Hmm.
But I started doing rapid fire maybe in season 3, and I enjoy it because as professionals, as adults, sometimes we don't no one knows how playful we are, or no one knows
Yeah.
different things about us. And I always find that it's easier to work with, even in my professional job now. I bring this version of Tyrell wherever I'm at because it's easier to make relationships being who you are. So rapid
Hmm.
fire is going to be 60-second round of me asking you a question. Don't worry, it won't get you in any trouble type questions. No baby oil questions. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so that's it. Yeah. So, but rapid fire. Indulge me for rapid fire. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. If someone was trying to get to know Chris, what would you say was your favorite season of the year?
Summer,
Summer.
my birthday.
If you were to choose any place in the world that you would love to go to, where would it be?
Oh, Anguilla.
All right, all right. If you had a favorite sneaker, and I'm only asking for sneakers because I'm a sneakerhead, so
Ah,
sorry if it might be a different shoe, but if you had a favorite sneaker, what would it be?
wow. Okay, so right now, I feel like I'm an Asics girl.
Yo, it's crazy. Okay, all right, all right, all right. Let me see. If if you had to choose, who would be your favorite musical artist and why?
Of all time?
Your favorite.
Oh, come on. You can't do that to me. I work in this space. Like,
It's got to be somebody. Mine's just Tupac. I'll leave
all
you
right,
with that. Go.
of all time. That's tough. That is really tough. But yeah, oh, that's tough. Can I pass? So
She's like,
many.
listen,
Okay.
I don't wanna start nothing.
Here's the thing. I just love music. Like, I love music. My playlist is so random that you would be like, wait, what is going on here? But I just love music. Like last week, I just drove to go see Jasmine Sullivan. Like, I love Maxwell. My dad and I used to love Maxwell. We used to listen to all his music. But then I love Marvin Gaye. I love Whitney Houston. I love, like, Frankie Beverly. God, I was just like, wow, like just even the music and the catalog of his, like his legacy alone, like I just love music, so it's hard for me to pick one. Growing up, I was a huge Mary J. Blige fan. A lot of people know this. um, but yeah,
JB.
it's just hard for me to pick one. It's hard.
Okay. Well, that's okay. You done name dropped a few of them. I will take all of them.
Okay,
I will
please
take all of
do.
them. I will take all of them. And if if there was if this was your cheat day, right? This is my
Mhm.
last question for rapid fire. Cheat day. What is your favorite go-to snack or meal?
Cheat day.
What picks you up? What makes you feel good? Say, like if I'm having a bad day, my wife knows. She'll give me some Chick-fil-A. What's your snack? What's your cheat meal?
This is a very big back answer. I feel like I'm dealing with the same dilemma as the music.
Is that many?
I'm a foodie.
Me too.
Love to eat. And I mean, I'm in the gym. I have a trainer. I'm doing all the things. But food is, it's tough. But I will say I do like Asian cuisine. Like if I'm ever in a city, I want to kind of know like what's your Asian like cuisine or something that, maybe I haven't tried. That's probably like my go-to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. See, you survived.
Yeah.
Told you rapid fire wasn't so bad.
It was not.
Though you
It
didn't
made
give
me
me some
hungry.
directs on two of them, but it was all right.
Yeah. I got a little hungry, but I'm
Mm-mm, mm-mm. Let me see, man. I got two more questions for you before I let you go. I know you're a very, very busy person, and that'll lead me to my next question. You're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're a community activist. You're so many different things. How does Chris balance it all? How do you find the perfect work-life balance for you?
Yeah, so I hear my friends say this all the time. They're like, "You're never home. You're always traveling." And it may seem that way, but I try to be very like intentional about my schedule. Like I kind of already know what my whole October looks like, my whole November looks like. And usually, yeah, there could be weekends that I've already, I already have something that weekend, especially working in the event industry. We have client events, we have things that are happening on weekends. But during the week, that's like my me time. That's my
Mm,
time that I'm usually in the house. It may seem like I'm away, but I'm usually kind of to myself working, spending time with the kids. And so I just use that as my time to like really sort of have some balance before it gets busier on the weekends. I'll also talk about this a lot on my platforms, but I don't take meetings on certain days because I started to realize that I was like in meetings every day of the week and I really didn't have time to just think or decide like maybe a fun activity or something that I want to do as a family. So I started carving out that time and really just being intentional about it. Like it'll literally say on my calendar unavailable on this whole day on Fridays or Mondays or whichever day I need to do that. Now, of course, if an event is coming up, that may alter, but I just noticed that if I was going to want balance in my life, I had to create it. Like I had to
mm,
be intentional about scheduling those times where I want more balance, whether it's going to get a massage or going to the spa or whatever it is that I enjoy, really making time to do it versus saying, oh, I got some free time later on today. Let me try to make it happen. I had to start scheduling it. So that has really helped me a lot, especially with my kids' schedules. My kids know don't come with something at the ninth hour
yep.
because
Yep.
it might be hard for me to pull it off. But yeah, and it also makes them better. Like I'm trying to get them to understand like you have to schedule things. And really be intentional about it. So when I didn't have balance, I was spiraling at times. But
Mm,
then when I took back that control and decided that I needed to be intentional, I needed to schedule it, I feel like I have a lot more balance. And then I also just started making like time to go back to church on Sundays. I mean, I'm a spiritual person, you know, I respect others and their beliefs, but for me, I kept saying I'm tired on Sundays. And I was like, I got to stop doing that.
Yep.
You know, so we recently joined a church here in Charlotte, and I've just been very much intentional about going back to church. That's how I grew up. You know, I wanted to start making more time to do things as a family, even if it's, you know, worshiping together on Sunday. So it's just certain things that I will take note of and decide like I want to do better. And then that's when I start making some goals and plans around it.
I like it. I like it. And it's, you know, those they're like living, breathing documents. They're always evolving. They're always changing. But
Yeah.
you use the word intentionality, right? And being intentional about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm not sure if you know EJ, but shout out to EJ, frat brother from Johnson C. Smith. He
Mm-hmm.
always would tell me, be like, "Yo, Rel, how are you there? How are you there?" He's just like, "Yo, I always see you everywhere, and then I always see you with the kids. I always see your wife. How do you do it all?" And it's just like time management, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using your calendar. You know, my sister hates this about me. I love you, Raven, but shout out to her. But she was like, you know, you put everything on the calendar. Yeah, we
Yeah.
put everything on the calendar because it ensures that, you know, the things that are important will get done. They
Yes.
don't just get done on a whim all of the time. So,
Right. Yep.
yeah,
For
yeah, so,
sure. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah. And let me see, I have to ask this question. And this would be my second to last question, promise. Uh,
Fine.
Thinking about your life's path, everything
Mm-hmm.
that you've experienced up to this point, and where you are right now in life, what about your life's path are you most proud of?
Hmm. Aside from being a mom and my children, I'm going to speak just about me being proud of me for a second. I'm most proud of my resilience because oftentimes we see things happening and we think, oh, that'll never happen to us, or we won't be in that type of situation. Or you're in the situation and you're like, how am I going to make it through this?
Mm,
And I'm really proud of my resilience. I've been able to navigate a lot of challenging things and still navigating them. And I think that I do my best to like put my best foot forward with everything that I'm doing. I also allow myself grace. But resilience has been, I feel like I'm riding this wave of resilience. There are moments in the chapters of my life where I'm like, oh, that was so exciting. And then there are moments where I'm like, my God, just thinking about that, I could just, you know, get emotional. So to me, the resilience has allowed me to strengthen my faith,
mm,
to realize that we're all human. We are not exempt from things happening to us.
mm,
We're just not. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. Doesn't matter how much you try to treat people right. I used to be so hard on myself about that. Like, gosh, I thought I was treating people right. I thought I was doing, you know, and I'll be like, well, why did that happen?
yep,
And so
yep,
I learned that, you know, I can't necessarily beat myself up over that. But there's something I need to learn from it. And so for me, I just feel like I've really grown that muscle of just being resilient. You mentioned people pleasing, you know, even just that, like wanting to please or be there for people and do things that kind of what I guess in my mind were for were for the benefit of this situation, right? And
yep.
it may not turn out that way. So I just look over my life and it's so many moments and things that have happened where I'm like, you made it out of that.
Mm,
You got out of it, you pushed through it. Even when maybe it wasn't the outcome you wanted, you still learned something from it. You took with you what you learned and you applied it moving forward. Similar scenario happened and you respond from a place of what you've learned, you know. So I just think that some of us need to sometimes take time to be proud of just how far we've come and
mm,
how we've been able to maneuver and, you know, be resilient in situations where maybe at the time you just didn't think there was a way out. So I'm proud of my children and many other things as well, but I'm really, really proud of myself because I have really worked hard. And even when we talked about therapy, that's work you're putting in.
Work.
That's you saying like, I want to look at all the things that maybe happen and I want to see where I can be better or I can do better. Not necessarily what you can change about somebody else.
Yeah.
But what can I do to improve, something, or even just bring awareness to something that maybe I just wasn't even paying attention to. And so I've done a lot of work. It can be a lonely journey doing that type of work. So that's another reason why I just say I'm most proud of how resilient I have been, and that I'm really just proud of me.
I'm
So
really proud of you. I'm proud of your answer.
yeah.
And, it is a lonely place sometimes, but,
Hmm.
God sometimes needs us separated from everybody and everything sometimes to really hear it. Sometimes we're
Yep.
so busy wanting to take everybody else along with us and be like, well,
Hmm.
nah, I got you. I'm gonna bring you here and bring you here. And you realize it turns crazy and chaotic. It's like sometimes that's not, God's not leading everybody else there. God might just be
Exactly.
leading you there.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay realizing that God may be taking us away from certain people too,
Hmm.
right? And so your answer was the bomb
Oh, thank
because
you.
it hit on so many different things about just being aware enough and in the moment enough to realize what the lesson is in every situation.
Hmm.
Because life isn't always about being happy. Some people have this idea that everything's supposed to be great. It really isn't. But
Hmm.
but being able to have resilience through it all and be humble enough
Hmm.
to take my lickings, say I did that,
Yep.
I caused that,
Hmm.
and this is what I learned as a result of that, right? It
Yep.
makes you a better teacher, it makes you a better parent, it makes you a better friend, it makes you a better spouse. And those are some of the things that I learned through therapy too. It's just like it's very easy to point the finger elsewhere,
Yeah.
but when you start pointing the finger inwardly, you'll really come to the answer and the conclusion that really matters the most. You can't change everybody else, but how do you deal with yourself in these situations when you got unreasonable people,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for
shout out to
sure.
you. Shout out to you.
We have to
Um,
start celebrating, our journeys more. Wow. I learned through some experiences that, of course, they say a lot about you in the end.
yep.
But, we need to definitely start recognizing the things that we're overcoming, and celebrate, the progress that we've made, even if it's small progress. I've just been trying to be more, aware of how far I've come. So
Okay.
but this has been great. You know, as a planner, I don't get to do these types of podcasts often. It's really, really cool to connect and just talk about, everything that we go through as entrepreneurs, because this industry is a stressful industry. I talk
Mm,
about it all the time. Like, a lot of people don't see what goes on behind the scenes
mm,
of these events, and working with, large tournaments, and it's a lot of moving parts.
mm.
But we have to remember too that, we're human, and as life is happening, you still have to show up as a entrepreneur, as a mom, like all these different hats. And so that's another reason why I'm just big on giving myself grace,
Mm.
because I have to show up for so many people. And these are things I enjoy doing, but it doesn't mean it's not stressful. So I've just tried to just be really good about taking the time to be like, hey, you did good. How they used to say, pat yourself on the back.
Pat yourself on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And having a good circle.
Oh, for sure.
Shout out to your circle, man. Shout out
Yeah.
to Dr. O. I'm definitely gonna name drop his butt in here.
Yes,
But having a good circle is a huge part of it, right?
for
People that are gonna
sure.
hold you accountable,
Yep.
people that know you well enough to help you to get to where you're trying to go. And I tell everybody all of the time, it's just like everybody can't go.
Yeah.
So audit your circle sometimes and realize that, we may have outgrown some people in some situations that
Hmm.
aren't supposed to be going with us into the next season. But when
Yeah.
we do find those people that are uniquely like we're kindred spirits and we're moving in the same direction together and you can uplift one another, ain't
Yeah.
nothing better than that, man. So
Oh
shout out
yeah.
to your circle too.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, shout out to them for sure. That again, another college bond that was built that now,
Johnson C.
we're like
Smith.
godmother to some of their kids. And it's just amazing. Like you said, it's not just the professional piece of it, but it's also just the personal relationships and knowing each other's families and to your point, being able to say like, hey, you're not on your A game today. Like, what's up? What do you need? How can I help you? And really having those people that will call you out when they know like something doesn't seem right, but they're also lending a hand to help you figure it out, or even just listening. It definitely makes a difference for sure.
Hey, listen, the back community, we've had the opportunity of talking to Miss Chris Cosby
Yeah.
today. And like I said, curating beautiful events, not just in the Charlotte area, but in your favorite city.
I
I want to
appreciate that.
say I'm giving you your flowers, and I also
Thank you.
want to give you a round of applause for everything that you do. And you do it gracefully and very humbly. And you've been
Thank
that
you.
that way since I met you at Johnson C. Smith. So congratulations to you and all that you're building and all
Thank
that you will
you.
continue to build. And I wish you continued success. And I can't wait to get your story out to the people. Before you go,
Hmm.
and this might be along the lines of food and music, so it might get you in trouble again. But who motivates you? What are you listening to? Podcasts, books? Where do you go to get your inspiration?
Well, I'm in the event industry, so I'm constantly,
Mm,
on LinkedIn looking at, different events that have happened in different publications that fall in that industry. So I could be here all day naming off some of those publications that
mm,
I look at for event industry tips. And I want to speak about that for a second. Event industry is an industry where it's like, you don't necessarily go to colleges and see a major for event planning or management. There are some institutions that have it, but I have had to soak up knowledge from so many different places, but for the most part, it's been hands-on experience that has helped me in that industry. But I'm always a student of that industry. So that's why I'm starting there, because it's ever changing. And I'm always like, oh, wow, now they're doing this, or there's this new type of, LED screen or something that's happening in the space that, somebody sent me something the other day and it was like a LED sign that they were flying in on a drone, and I'm like, okay, wait, so it's always changing in the industry. So I'm always looking at what's happening at these events and
Smart.
reading publications in the event industry. But aside from that, I love Audible. So I listen to different entrepreneurs and the books that they put out. I finished Pinky Cole's book. I really could relate to her journey because she just went through a lot of
Mm,
obstacles, and then just to kind of see the success that she's having now, and has been having for some time now. It's just amazing to kind of see that. And one thing I will say, it has helped me to find people who maybe you see something in yourself in them,
mm,
because for me, Pinky went to a
yep.
HBCU. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, but she's from Baltimore. She's a Delta, so it just was a lot of similarities. And sometimes that just helps, because when you can see that someone kind of similar profile to you is out here, doing
Mm,
such amazing work, even that has been helpful for me. Just reading some of the stories of other entrepreneurs. I love the Budgetnista. I'm a part of her Patreon community. I think it's so important now more than ever that we're reading about finances. We're reading about the things that are happening. I'm not as involved as I want to be in investing in the stock market, but I definitely think that if we're just exposing ourselves to even a little bit every
yep.
week is very helpful for me, just to kind of listen and say, oh, okay, well, maybe I should be doing this different when I go and do my taxes, or just
Mm,
different tips that I pick up as an entrepreneur. So I'm always like looking for new podcasts and to check out new books. But I would say, like, I try to find people that I can identify with
nice.
or I relate to, because I wasn't always someone that read a lot of books. And so
Mm,
the first thing, I was more of a hands-on internships, networking type of person. The first thing for me now is when I do have some downtime, I need to get the information fast and I need to hear it in a way that's convenient for my lifestyle. So I need to listen to it while I'm driving to pick up the kids. Basically, you got to get the information.
However you gotta get it.
So, and so that's what I will say is don't beat yourself up if you don't like to read books. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I don't enjoy holding a book. Like it feels like work to me. So I always felt like I still want to still get information and learn and make sure that I'm paying attention to what's happening in new books and things. So Audible is my friend, podcast. And like I said, just looking at any type of industry information that you can follow and find on LinkedIn is a great tool as well.
Okay. And I'm going to add to that, and be my last drop. It'll actually be that there's the best teacher is experience, right? And guys, you've heard Chris talk about a lot of things today about how her experiences had led her to be exactly where she is. And it has equipped you to be an effective event producer, planner, and just human being. But, if you were to go over to KristinCosby.com, you can also see, I think I said it right. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. If you were to go over to our website, you'll also see opportunities to connect and to possibly be mentored and coached by her because, I think it's one of the most overlooked things. People undervalue mentorship, right?
For sure.
It is. I've been mentoring for over 20 some years. I'm only 41. So that just tells you how long that area has been very, very important to me. And I see that that's a space that you're carving out for yourself. And for anyone who wants to get involved in this industry, I would say take her up on her offer that she has. Figure out how you can connect and get this particular tutelage directly from her because those connections can open up doors, but you got to make an investment in yourself too. I tell everybody, don't go for all of the stuff that's free and cheap. Research and statistics say that people who go after the stuff that's free and cheap never really do anything with the information that they got that was free and cheap either. But those who invested some time and money and interest into something, those are the people who end up taking the information and running with it. So definitely go over to KristinCosby.com. Find out more about what she's involved in, what she's doing, and how you can connect with her and learn from one of the best in the game to do it. So, Chris, thank you again for being on the Back Community. You are a dope individual. Congratulations to you and your family. And one, I do know that the hurricane is currently going through where you guys are at. So I hope that all of you guys, your family and friends will be safe during this time.
Thank you, Tara. I really appreciate it. It was so nice talking with you and much success to you as well with season 5.
Thank you. Spread love. That's what we're going to do.
Spread love.
The Back Community, you heard it from us both. Have a great one. I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Deuces.
It's for all of the trials and tribulations. Just look at my mom made it. I said I was gonna change it, I did. And I know that we all destined for greatness. No matter what you've been facing, it's a marathon, no, it's not a sprint. It's for all of the trials and tribulations. Just look at my mom made it. I said I was gonna change it, I did. And I know that we all destined for greatness. No matter what you've been facing, it's a marathon, no, it's not a sprint. Trying to change for the better, all my city, see the difference. When the mamas to the children, every one of us is gifted.